Hey, how's it going, everybody? What's up? Welcome back to another video. Today is actually going to be something I don't think I've ever really seen anybody make before. I've definitely not done it before, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody else do one of these videos before. If they have, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. And speaking of which, leave a comment, lads. Type plane, pretty please. I'd appreciate it for the YouTube algorithm gods. And also leave a like and subscribe if you guys enjoy this type of content. And also, leave a comment down below letting me know what you guys would do if you could make your own map in EFT, because that is what we're going to be talking about today. So, I got this idea because I was looking for an idea to make a video on, obviously. And I was in the trader screen, and then I was on my character screen, and then I was looking at my skills and stuff. And I was like, yeah. And then I opened up Escape from Tarkov. You know, you go in, you pick the map, and you choose your time or whatever. And I was like, terminal. That makes me sad that that isn't going to be an airport terminal map, because just in case any of you guys don't know, so you know the way there's locked maps, we've got town, suburbs, streets of Tarkov, and then terminal, like all the way down on the bottom near shoreline. Terminal is actually a port for like ships and stuff. A lot of people thought that it was like an airport, but it's actually not. So I was thinking, damn, it'd be really cool if they made an airport map for Tarkov. And then I was like, well, why don't they just throw the idea out there? Who knows? Maybe somebody at BSG will see this, and then maybe somewhere down along the line, they might implement an idea that I had in this video or something. But I just thought it would be really fun to talk about some of the cool ideas that I have for this map that may or may not ever get made. Who knows? But it's always fun kind of theory crafting this kind of stuff. So my idea is based off Terminal from Modern Warfare 2. If you guys remember that game, or if any of you have played it, you guys will more than likely remember the map Terminal, which was one of the most fun maps on that game, at least in my opinion, which took place in an airport terminal. So my map would simply be called Airport, I guess. I don't really know what else to call it, but let's just say for the time being, the map is called Airport. My ideas for this map. So there are, as you guys know, in airports, they're very big for the most part. Look at Heathrow. Look at, you know, any big American airports. You know, if you guys have ever been through those, or any major European airports, you guys will know that airports are absolutely enormous. Now, I'm not saying, you know, make it that big, but you could take all of that, condense it down into a large sized map, and still be able to spread loot all around it and make it really fun. Meanwhile, adding in maybe new mechanics and new things that we haven't really seen in Tarkov before. So one thing that I think could be cool would be if, as you're entering certain areas, there would be metal detectors. Now, if the metal detector goes off, an alarm goes off and players can hear you. Now, going through the metal detectors would be the quickest way to get to the high loot spots, but you are also giving away your position by moving through here. Now, there might be a way that you can get a key card or something like that that can deactivate the metal detectors and make your way through without making any sound. The key card in order to turn off these metal detectors would be loot from the airport boss, which was one of the first ideas that came to mind for me. Now, here's my idea for a boss that would be on the airport map. So obviously, I don't have a name. Let's call him Timmy. Timmy, the airport boss. And he would be outside on the runway defending a big, like, I guess, like warplane or something. So like a big plane that's equipped with, you know, something similar to like an AC-130 or something like that. You know, big guns and big artillery and all that kind of stuff. And it is this boss's plane. It is his and his crew that basically run the plane, and, you know, they fly around Tarkov and they terrorize people and they do all kinds of bad shit, you know, as what you would expect a Tarkov boss to do. The idea is you had the main boss and 3 bodyguards, or his crewmates, I guess you could say. Now, the plane is locked, okay? You cannot loot the plane until the boss and all 3 of the guards are dead. One of the guards or the boss will drop the key for the plane. So it's not a case of, if you find Sturman kind of on his own, you can kill him, loot him, grab his key and leave, or loot the thing and leave depending on where his guards went. It would be a case of, if you try and get up to the plane and you try to unlock it without the other guards being dead, they will all push you and you're more or less... It would basically make it impossible to loot the plane unless everybody's dead. So once you've killed them all, you can get a key in order to open the plane. In the plane, there will be guns, there'll be ammo, there'll be grenades, there'll be, you know, contraband items, maybe really expensive rare loot and key cards and all that other kind of stuff. I'm talking like making this scab boss, his loot would be S tier, like S plus tier loot. Because when I look at scab bosses similar to Glockar, I always think, oh wow, it's only really Glockhard that has any decent loot on him, and then the rest of the guards are kind of fodder. At least this way, there is a reason to kill the smaller guards and not just loot the main boss. And then, you know, as far as the loot pool is concerned, the main boss would also have colored keycard drop chances, just like the other scab bosses as well. However, this is one of the loot spots that these guards and the scab boss can have a key to. There will also be the boss's lair, let's say. So this would be akin to Sturman's, you know, his stash. This would be akin to Killa's kind of secret room where the extract is on interchange. And the idea would be that he would drop you a key card that would be, you know, limited uses. And this would allow you to get into the air traffic control tower, which is where the boss and his guards live. Now, if you can get into the air traffic control tower, there would be multiple like caged rooms and stuff like that. Again, which all of the individual scav guards would have keys for. So it would be, you'd have the main boss's room, and then you'd have 3 other rooms in there that would be locked, that are each unique to the scav boss guard that owns that room. So you'd actually have to get 4 keys altogether from the boss and his 3 other guards in order to unlock every room in there, so that you always have a reason to kill the other guards and they always have worthwhile loot on them. It means it's worth the risk to go get them, because you remember you're fighting out on the runway. It's probably not really that much cover, and you're going to have to be, you know, very careful about how you're going about killing them. So that was my idea for the scab boss on an airport type map, which I think could be really cool and in theory sounds dope, but from a gameplay perspective, I have no idea, because I'm not a games designer. I have no idea about any of this stuff, but it sounds cool and I think it would be fun to do, right? Next up, we're going to talk about other spots within the airport that would also be, you know, high loot. Obviously not as much as what the guard is kind of taking care of, and, you know, the plane and the air traffic control tower. But you would also have, let's say, an armory within the airport, which the armed police at the airport would be using. This is kind of a 2-pronged kind of thing. You have an armory within the airport where the security guards and the police of the airport will store all their equipment and stuff. But you will also have a group of AI that have kind of taken over this airport. They're not scavs. They're a different type of AI similar to scavs, but they have access to this room, and that is where you would get the keys from. You would get it from those guards that just kind of wander the airport, and they've kind of taken it over, and it's now their base of operations, and maybe they work with the scab boss in the area as well. So you would have to go around killing these special AIs, kind of similar to rogues and raiders, I guess, in that regard. They would have, you know, higher level gear, armor, helmets, all that kind of stuff. And then you'd have to kill them and get lucky enough to find their key that would allow you to gain access to the armory, again, which would have high tier loot, you know, ammo, weapons, attachments, all that kind of stuff, probably meds. Now we've got another loot area, which would be the customs area, which would be where all of the contraband stuff, so stuff that you can't bring onto the plane that people would take, the security there would take off you and then throw it away, or, you know, destroy it or whatever. So there would be an area that you can get into that would have all of the contraband stuff from, you know, years ago when the airport was still operational. And you could have stuff like, you know, maybe firearms, maybe ammo, maybe things like fireworks that you could use in your hideout to break down into gunpowder in order to craft ammo for yourself. You would also have like food items. Maybe there would be a way that you could find clothing there that you could use on your PMC. And then other, you know, cosmetic bits and pieces and sunglasses and all that other kind of stuff, like hats and balaclavas and all that sort of stuff that you would need for, like, you know, your Ragman quests and stuff like that. On top of other loot, you know, like you'd probably have drugs. So let's just say, for example, it would be, you know, stims. You know, you could find stims in there and other things that when you think about it, you know, would really not make sense to allow somebody to bring onto a plane. So that would be another major loot area. And then, of course, you would have something like a food court where there would probably be multiple food courts all around different parts of the airport that would have, you know, various food items. There'd be cash registers. Maybe there'd be keys into like rooms that have safes to where there'd be like a lot of money in them from before. And yeah, food, water, all that kind of stuff, you know, similar to interchange. You would have maintenance garages outside where they would take care of the vehicles that they'd use to drive around the airport. They would obviously have tools and stuff like that to take care of the planes and maintain them and stuff like that. So these would probably be locked rooms similar to kind of RBST, where it would be a rarer key, but it would also have like a lot of really high-end industrial loot and other bits and bobs included inside of them as well. As far as extracts are concerned, guys, I don't know how many of you guys know this, but in a lot of airports, there's actually a really big underground area that the staff and people will use. They'll drive like these little cars around to get quickly from one place to another, mostly maintenance staff, to get from one place to another quickly in an airport, because as you guys know, if you've ever been in an airport before, generally they tend to be pretty busy. So there would be extracts underground. So there would be multiple extracts in the underground area. Some of them would be locked, some of them would be available to use, some of them would require power, etc, etc. You guys get it. Also, there would be small planes that would be out on the runway and in other various places, similar to a car extract, where you go up to the plane, you pay your money, which would be a lot more than 5,000 rubles. I'm thinking somewhere like 50 to 100k maybe. You bring that in with you in your container and you see, you know, that there's a plane on the runway ready to go. You run out there, you take cover, you know, you pay the guy, and then it wouldn't be a case of you have to wait 30 seconds to get out. You pay the money, it's a 10-second timer, out you go. Because these 30-second waits, 60-second waits or whatever to get out of raids, I hate that. That is one of my least favorite things in Tarkov. So there is my waffly idea about an airport map for Tarkov. Lads, if you guys like it, let me know. If you guys have other ideas, let me know as well, because it's always interesting seeing what you guys think and what you guys can add to it. But I think an airport map in Tarkov would be really, really cool. Now, I know we're obviously probably never going to get one, but lads, as I said, it's always fun kind of theory crafting stuff like this that we'd like to see in games. So lads, if you made it this far in the video, I very much appreciate you. Please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. And lads, I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace out, my dudes.